Is it sin to curse, swear, or cuss? The third commandment says, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." In ancient times, the way a person would make a contract was to swear in the name of his God that he would do something, or if he was called to be a witness, he would swear in the name of his God that what he was saying is true. There were also priests that would damn people in the names of their gods. So if a person swore to do something and did not do it, he was taking the name of God in vain. If he swore that something was true in the name of his God and it was not true, that was taking the name of God in vain. No priest has authority to damn anyone to hell, so cursing someone in the name of God is taking the name of God in vain. Because of the commandment, the Israelites started to swear by other things and not in the name of God. Jesus came along and said that we swear not at all. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you know the truth, tell it or keep your mouth shut. God also taught us to love and forgive and not curse anybody. Is it a sin to watch movies? The Pharisees questioned Jesus about his disciples about eating without washing their hands. Now, granted, it's a good idea to wash your hands before eating because of germs, but it's not a sin. It is not what goes into the body that defiles us, it's what comes out of the heart. The same principle applies to things you hear and see. You cannot stop hearing what comes into your ears, and you cannot stop the things that come into your eyes, but you can select the things that go into your heart and become part of your soul. Watching movies is not a sin, but the type of movie you watch can lead you into temptation. For people who cannot separate reality from fantasy, movies can be damaging. There are good movies and there are bad movies. I do enjoy a good movie now and then, and I avoid bad movies. I've seen movies that glorify crime and war and sex, or that use a lot of bad words, and I don't enjoy those kinds of movies, so I choose not to watch them. I enjoy some comedy movies. I used to enjoy movies about going into space, but in these days many of those movies have become dark and I do not enjoy them so much. I do not enjoy murder mystery movies anymore. I don't like to think about solving murders. Movies that entice you to lust or to steal or to murder or engage in any form of sin should be avoided. You're an adult. You decide what you want to watch. Do not let anybody decide for you. Is lust a sin? Jesus said that a man who looks on a woman to lust after her commits adultery. The word covet means to lust. So yes, I would say that lust is definitely a sin. Let me give this example. When I was about 10, I visited a friend, and his father had pictures of naked women hanging on the walls of his garage. I did not feel anything, and it was not something that interested me. Then I went into puberty, and a friend showed me pictures of naked women, and I did feel something, and I was interested. I discovered that looking at pictures of naked women did entice me to lust, and to overcome the lust, I had to say a lot of prayers and exercise self-denial to overcome the lust until I got back to the way I was as a child. I don't lust anymore. How does one's personal and private sin affect others? That is hard to say, but if one is contrary to God in their personal, private life, it will have an effect on how you treat and talk to others. It does manifest itself. There is a saying about misery seeks company, and people who have private hidden sins look for ways to corrupt others, especially children. Is it ever right to lie? The devil is the father of lies. It is never right to follow the devil. Over here we have a concept that if you have the right to remain silent, it's better to remain silent than to tell lies. So why do people lie? People lie to protect themselves, or to glorify themselves, or to deceive others to give them money. Rich people and people in public office and false priests and pastors are the biggest liars, and they get away with it because we let them. We want to believe that they are telling us the truth so we can have a feeling of security, but security is not freedom. And if you want to be free, you have to know the truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Love and forgive everybody, but don't trust anybody but Him to know the truth. Is it sin to share copyright material on the internet? How do you feel about it? I suppose that if someone is going to make a stink and say that people who copy their material are stealing from him, you should not copy their stuff. But the copyright laws are to prohibit people from making money off someone else's work without paying a royalty. If there is no money involved, I don't think it's breaking copyright laws, and God is not going to accuse you. Is it a sin to play poker? It depends on why you play poker. If you're playing to cheat other people out of their money, it is wrong. Otherwise, it could be fun for some people. I never enjoyed the game. There's too much drama. I enjoy winning, not losing. One's chances of winning at poker are small, and the biggest winners have learned ways to cheat without getting caught. Is it sin to watch hentai? It's like everything else. If it entices you to do sin, it should be avoided. I have seen some very perverse things in my life, and I never enjoyed it, and I avoid it and pray against it so the evil does not enter into my heart. Is gluttony a sin? Eating and drinking in excess is a physical sin. Obesity shortens one's life. That and drunkenness rob a person of quality of life. Is bisexuality a sin? It is a sin for a man to stick his penis into another man's butt or mouth. And it is sin to lust after sex. So you tell me, just because a man has sex with women does not justify him also to have sex with men. What does the Bible say about prostitution? All prohibited sexual acts less than adultery came under the heading of fornication. The prohibited acts included homosexual bestiality, pedophilia, rape, prostitution, and promiscuity, and all other perverted forms of sexual behavior. When the gospel was allowed to be taught to the Gentiles, the apostles wrote a letter telling the people to avoid all types of fornication. What does the Bible say about wet dreams, nocturnal emission? Is it sin? No, it's not sin. It is the body's natural process for relieving the prostrate. There was, however, some kind of purification ritual under the law of Moses for issues of the flesh for men, the same as for women who were menstruating. These rituals were done away when Jesus came. Is it possible to be Christian gay? There are a lot of people who profess to be Christian, but it does not justify their homosexual practice. Jesus taught self-denial if a man wants eternal life. You can look it up in Matthew 9:19-12. What does the Bible say about transsexualism and transgenderism? As far as I know, it says nothing about it in the Bible. These are modern terms to define people who feel that nature or God got it wrong to give them a body different than what they feel they should be. Another name for these things is gender envy. It is a temptation from the devil, and I believe that people who feel they should have been born a different sex are captive of the devil. Who we are sexually is in our spirits, and a male spirit cannot form a female body, nor vice versa. But evil spirits of males can possess males or females, and evil female spirits can also possess both. It is then possible that transgender and transsexuals are possessed of evil spirits. What is the definition of idolatry? Idolatry is making, setting up, selling, and allowing the worship of images. Idolatry usually refers to images of gods or saintly persons used in worship.